Hey, my name is Tim, and welcome back to the Talkative table. These podcast episodes are going to be kind of short, but like I said before in my last podcast episode, I'll be hitting on things that mean something to me. So a lot of times it'll be lifestyle things. Sometimes it will be entertainment, more than one topic, things of those nature. A lot of politics, hopefully in the future as well. And eventually, as we keep growing and getting better, and I can become more consistent, hopefully I have some guests on here as well, and just keep expanding the podcast. But right now, it's all about building consistency and just getting better one step at a time. So something that's been very important to me for the last couple of years, and it's very important with all of the world right now, is financial discipline, getting out of debt for a lot of people, or building wealth. For me, it's getting out of debt and slowly building wealth. I have a little bit of debt, consumer debt, about I think about 3,000, no, $3,000 to $6,000. But by the end of the year, and with these tips, I kind of explain how I get to this. By the end of the year, I'll be out of consumer debt and only have my student loan debt, which is another beast. But my goal is that next year I'll be paid off with my student loan. So let's get into it. Um, financial, the financial part of the living is kicking our butt right now. There's been tariffs, a lot of questions with President Trump and the way that the economy is going to be going. A lot of people are struggling out here. I am one included. And this has been on my mind for a very long time because I believe one of the most important things for people like me, black people, to get ahead is for us to start really taking our finances seriously. For us to start budgeting, for us to start doing what we need to do to become less of consumers and more of the people with the money. Yeah. So I have been really focused on trying to learn better habits of financial literacy, really teaching myself financial literacy, studying it, and engulfing my day with it, my content with it, just because I have a bad history for my whole family and myself. Not all my family, just a lot of family members who are good. My brother's really good at finances, saving money, things of that nature. But I have a lot of family who is not, and I am one of those in particular who is not. So I have a lot of bad habits I need to rebuild. So I've been working really hard on that. In terms and ways I've been working hard is I've been doing two jobs for a while. I go off and on between having two jobs and having one job. But very recently, last year, I really got, like I said, into gardening, watching videos, budgeting, things of that nature. And that's what I think helped me out the most. Although I'm still struggling as of this video right now. In other videos on my channel, you'll be able to see what I am doing to get better and get back on track. Because last month I had a crazy month of just spending recklessly, trying to make excuses of why I should have things. But I'm getting back on track and still expected to hit my goals towards the end of the year. So what I'm trying to say is that it is a daunting task. It's like losing weight for some people. It's hard for some and it's easy for others. For me, both is kind of hard. Both needs to be worked at. Both really needs to. I need to be engulfed in it. I really need to live it. Understand why I am trying to be successful in this area, and then slowly but surely I build the habits to get better. I personally like to follow Dave Ramsey's method. Let me say this: I kind of follow his method. I don't have a mortgage or things of that nature, but I like the snowball method, that snowball method, where you pay, I believe, your lowest balance off, and then you attack it. So you make your minimums, and then you keep tacking uh, the lowest balance first, and make your way up. I can also put a video, or I will put a picture of what the snowball method is in this clip, so people who don't know can see it, and I'll maybe even link his website out to others. But I just think it's important that you find a method or something that works for you. I think that for people who are like me, you see yourself for some reason spending a lot of money, being broke at the end of the month, um, or in the middle of the month, the beginning of the month, or whenever you end up getting broke but not having the money. I think it's very important for us to learn the value of money, to see ourselves with money in our hands, and understand, just try out different things. And what I mean is, if you're used to not having money, try to challenge yourself to have money towards the end of the month, so you can experience how it feels to hold on to money for so long, because it is a great feeling, especially when emergency happens, or you know you want to go out, or on a random Saturday night or Tuesday night, you want to do something good for you or your significant other, you have the money to. You don't have to wait for payday and things of that nature. So it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to just not to see your paycheck go 10 different ways either. What I mean is, if you have a lot of credit card debt or a lot of people that you owe, you know that you get your money in, you gotta pay your essential bills, and then you're paying off these little debts here and there, which is not a great feeling. It's a beautiful feeling to see your money stay with you more, because now you have more opportunity to do more things, which is like investing and things of that nature, which hopefully is something that I grow more into. Although I have been getting into it a little bit, buying stocks here and there. I stopped it because, again, I run up my bill a little bit, so I want to get that back in order, and then I hop back onto it. But a couple things I want to talk about is just some tips that have been helping me out. Like I said, I have about 3 to 6 thousand. I'm closer to, I think I'm closer to like 5,000 or 4,009, like 4,500. Um, my goal by the end of the year is to have all consumer debt paid off, which I should have everything but one credit card paid off before December. And after that, it's just really hanging on to money is my thing. Putting some in high yields and savings accounts, and the other in my Roth IRA. So those are my two plans until the end of the year. Hang on to money as much as possible, pay off my debt, follow my budget, and you know, put away for the future. Which I think is important. I not only do I have a problem with not take care of myself on health wise, I also struggle with the money aspect. And when I say that, I tend to overeat, I tend to overspend, I tend to emotionally spend, I tend to emotionally eat. So what I've been trying to do recently, especially since I quit my second job, is find those indicators. Find out when I am feeling emotional, or I'm just bored and I want to spend money, or I want to do that. So really feeling myself in that moment and telling myself no, and understand what causes those triggers. And I'm also trying to find things to replace with those triggers. So like I said, I'm trying to pick up new hobbies, and usually, so my boxing classes start at the beginning of the month. You pay the fee for it, but now I know on Thursdays and Wednesdays, or throughout the week, I have somewhere to go when I'm feeling like I just want to blow some money, act crazy. I have a goal now because of this. Like, I want to hit a certain number of classes so I can get better at. So I don't really want to be just spending all my money anywhere. I really want to be more focused on trying to hit my goal. So there's a lot of different ways to think about this. Like, what I mean, it's like, think about how you want to approach your goal of hopefully getting out of debt or increasing your money. So I want to share some tips. There's some things that helped me. And number one is, I found my why. I found out why I really wanted to hold on to money, wanted to be better with money, wanted to learn about money. I was someone who really just blew money fast. I had more credit card balances I wasn't really good with money. I'm still not the greatest with money. I am getting better with money. But I found out my whys because I want to have a future where I'm not, you know, robbing Peter to pay Paul. I'm not using credit cards for every purchase, and I'm thinking about the future that I want to have in terms of, I want to have a wife, I want to have kids, I want to be able to be married one day and have that individual know that she can trust me with money, that they can trust me to make right decisions and lead them right. And that means breaking the bad habits that I do have. I don't want to be struggling when I'm 40 or even in my 30s, which is coming up. I want to be more stable than I was in my 20s. So that's a goal of mine. So I found my why. And then after I found my why, I really just immersed myself with as much content as possible. I changed a lot of my habits from listening to certain type of videos or listening to music to when I'm at the gym. I listen to financial advice. I was listening to as much as possible, trying to find what does a Roth IRA mean? What is a traditional Roth IRA? What is my 401k? Reading about my 401k with my company, trying to figure out how to manage the website or all that type of stuff. I was really trying to immerse myself and find every little detail, looking at updates on stocks, updates on the economy, things like that. And I still do that. I don't do as much anymore, but I'm getting back into it. But really immerse yourself with the education side of this, trying to learn. It really helps because it gets you thinking about it every day. And the more you start to learn what words mean and with different rules for anything, the Roth IRA, the more confidence you get when you see it on a screen or a paper or someone talks to you about it. You get confident because you know something about it now, and that you don't feel so scared or worried about, I don't know what that means, so I'm not going to worry about it. But no, you did your research, you did some homework, you was watching videos, and now you feel confident having those conversations, but also looking at it inside your own account and figuring out how you're going to handle it in the future. So I did a lot of studying. I did a lot of immersing myself in that financial world, and I still am. Another goal that I did was I started to budget. And I mean, budget like crazy. I'm not the best budget right now. I switch off between different things, but I'm definitely this month getting back into budgeting really hard. I have a overview of the whole year, and I go down from month. So I have a year budget, I have a month budget, and I'm even getting to the point when I have a weekly budget, and I'm getting to the point where I have to look at myself daily. But budget all your purchases, budget your trips. If you have a goal not to use credit cards anymore, make sure you budget your vacations. Budget your purchases that you make from going out to eat, to all the things. What I like to do is see how much money I want to have saved by the end of the month, and then I can plan more what I'm going to do. But budgeting is very important. Watch the videos on budgeting because there's so many different ways to budget out here. But it is a great feeling to know where your money's going, just so that you're confident out here when you are making purchases or the bills come in. You're just confident to know where your money is going at all times. So a budget is very important. Another thing that I did was I took some advantages with my job's educational programs. So my job does a lot of lunch and learns or meetings with some of our companies that we have our Roth IRAs with, or not Roth IRAs, but our 401ks with, or right now we have a thing called FinPath, which is a financial education website company that helps people and companies, employees, employers learn more about finances and things of that nature. So I've been taking some of those classes, reading those articles, taking those challenges with FinPath, and even like Vanguard and Fidelity, they have websites, articles you can read. I've been reading those as well. So it's another part of doing homework, researching, immersing yourself into content. But I have been taking I've been going to those websites and finding those and really trying to look for those. So it's another form of, like I said, doing your homework. But I just been really more into those classes now and hearing from those people in those companies. Um, Another thing I like to do is I do automate my finances. So I budget ahead of time before the month comes, and I set myself to come out on one day. So I get paid once a month. I like it for it to come out at one time, and I don't like to look at it. So I just wanted to automate the things I can automate, and obviously being on top of things that I can't automate. Just so I know everything's coming out. I also like to separate my bills. So I have a bills account, a savings account, and I have spending accounts for myself. So I have one account where I put my fun money. I have another checking account where I put my gas money. Separate those so they never overlap. That way I know exactly how much I have to spend and I'm not crossing over it as much. So that is another thing that you could do, is open up some accounts, different accounts for different type of purchases that you will be making. Another thing I have been getting into is learning how to learning about the high yield savings account. Now this is just a tip for people who want to start saving money or getting better with money. Make a high yield saving account because your money grows interest. If you don't have enough money or don't feel comfortable yet putting your money into the stock market, you do that because you earn money, a little bit of money daily for your high yield savings account. So your money's growing for you. It is something you have to pay taxes on at the end of the year, but you know, hey, your money's growing. A lot of times, if you have cash, it's losing the value. But if you have it inside the high yield saving account, like I said, it's still growing a little bit. So it's better than always having cash on you. Those are some tips that I have, some things that I've been learning about, thinking about, and trying to get better with. I really like learning more about money. I really like talking about it now. I think that, it's very important, like I said, for not just black people, but for all people to become better with your money, become better with your finances. I think that this is something, it's very powerful. Obviously, we know the people with more money, they have more control. They have more freedom, and that's just my goal: to have more freedom with my life. I'm already confident with not feeling like I need a job, but when you have your money right, you really don't need a job. You can do a lot better. So that's what I'm trying to get to and feel comfortable in. And I just think that if we can get our money right, we can make more decisions that affects us better. We don't always have to be not necessarily a slave to people, but we can have more, I don't know how to say this, but you can have more say in how you do things. You can plan to work part-time. You can not work certain type of jobs. Just having more control with your money will put you in positions to really decide it, dictate how you're going to just live this world, So I think it's very important, and I see how it really affects a lot of our generations when we don't have money. Like I said, I'm from a family who doesn't know about financial literacy a lot. My grandparents didn't have money. Their grandparents didn't have money, and slowly, in my time, my siblings are getting better. Thankfully for my mom, she was laid that foundation for me and my siblings, and we're just trying to get better and pass it along. So that's all I'm have right now. I started rambling a bit. Like I said, these podcast episodes will get better, more structure, but that's all I have for the talk of the table, and I'll see you next time.